Hello booktube, hello book friends, welcome back to my channel and another video, and something slightly different today. This is as promised. If you watched my weekly reading wrap up, was it yesterday, you will know that today I was going to open the first of my tote bags, which contain books from my TBR that I squirreled away at the beginning of May, in the hope of trying to get some of the unread books that I have loitered around the house, including some from these piles which seem to have grown in the interim, actually get them from being unread to read. So what I did was, beginning of May, 6 tote bags and subsequently 4 old pillowcases. That was kind of the middle of the month. I put between sort of 4 and 6 books, depending on sort of how big the books were, in each bag. Most are a mixture of fiction and non-fiction. I don't think there might be 1 or 2 that are completely fiction. I don't think there's any bags that are completely non-fiction. And put them to one side and tried to forget about them, or at least try to forget about what's in them. I think I've largely been successful with that. I know there are a few authors, so there's some George Simenon and some Stephen King, and those are the only 2 authors that I can definitely say I remember I've put books by in the bags, but we'll see. So I've got my first bag here. I have to say I'm a little bit, I think when I set this project up, and I need to thank Paul Mars, and I'll link to his channel in the description, because this is his idea, not mine, and it seems to be working really well for him. I don't know how well it's going to work for me, and particularly at the moment with everything that's been going on in kind of May, or at least the latter half of May. I didn't envisage that when I filled the bags and kind of thought this is what I'm going to do. So I'm a little bit, not, I don't know whether nervous is the right word, but a little bit nervous about what if I open the bags and think, oh my God, why did I put these in here? And I guess I'm going to give myself a free pass. If it's not working, I'm going to be honest about it and say, look, this isn't working for me, and I need to find something or another way of trying to control my TBR. You can only read 1 book at a time. Obviously, you can have several books on the go at any one time, but I think what I need to do is just see how it works. My biggest concern is, at the moment, my brain isn't focusing on anything for any period of time, and it's grasshoppering around, particularly with books, it seems. So we'll see. This month also happens to be Book Trek, and I think I've got my first Book Trek book in mind. Bear with me one moment. Sorry about that. See, I should have prepared better. So I think I'm going to go with The Captain's Daughter by Peter David, which is an original series novel. That's going to be my first Book Trek book of the summer. It's also June on the Range, and I am still thinking about, and maybe I'll just think about it all during June, thinking about going back to trying to read The Lonesome Dove, the first book, Lonesome Dove in the series, by Larry McMurtry. I didn't get on with it last year when I tried it in June on the Range, which was before I had the channel. So I don't know. is the short answer. I might just not read it for June on the Range and just read it at some point this year. I think I need to read it this year, or maybe give up completely on it. But I just think that everybody says it's a great book. I just struggled to get into it. I don't think it's. I didn't dislike it. I just couldn't, gel with the characters or whatever it was. Anyway, enough waffling. Let's see what's in here now. 2, 3, 4. I think there are 5 books in here. The only thing with tote bags is the handles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 books. So, what have we got? Oh, they're all round back to front. They're not all in the same, so I can't turn them and show you. So let's do that, and then they're all around the right way. So here are, and this is just going to be the basis because there's 5 books. I should be able to read more than 5 books in a normal month, and I normally do it. Hence, I'm not. So I'm adding kind of. Let's add this Star Trek novel. So that is my TBR for June as it stands. Now, let's have a look at some of these. So we've talked about Star Trek, so we won't do that. Like I say, there is a Simenon in here. Maigret and the Old People. The violent death of a distinguished former ambassador, an old man without political secrets or enemies, confounds Inspector Maigret until a bundle of letters promise to uncover the truth. I deliberately put a few of these in, partly so that I would read them, because otherwise they just sit on my shelf, and I only read them kind of as and when I kind of feel like I need a comfort read. So they are a comfort read for me. So I think it's in a way good that that's in there. And yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. So far, I'm quite excited. Which, given that we're only 1 book in and the other one is a Star Trek book, that's not saying much. Oh, I've always wanted to read this. Of course I have. I've had it for, I don't know, when was it published? And what is it, I hear you ask? Not got a... Pages are stubbornly sticking together. So this is 1992, so just a recent publication. This is the 9-Mile Wolves by Rick Bass. So this is one of Rick Bass's most widely respected works of natural history. The 9-Mile Wolves follows the fate of a modern wolf pack, the first known group of wolves to attempt to settle in Montana outside protected national park territory. The wolf inspires hatred, affection, myth, fear, and pity. Its return ignites the passions of cattle ranchers and environmentalists, wildlife biologists, and hunters. One man's vigorous emotional inquiry into the proper relationship between man and nature, the 9-Mile Wolves eloquently advocates wolf reintroduction in the West. I'm looking forward to that as well. I think this is the thing. I've had some of these books. I bought them because I kind of heard about them and thought, I really want to read that book. And then they've, so this is probably a second-hand book that I've bought, and they've arrived and they've gone on the shelf and they've just been forgotten about, some of them. I mean, the Simenons are different in the sense that I'm trying to read all of them over a period of time, and there's 70 odd of them, and I could literally probably now, just if I could get hold of the ones I don't have, just sit and read them. And they take like a day to read. You can easily read one in a day, and like 150, 180 pages, most of them. So yeah, but some of them I think are books that have been lingering for too long because they've just been neglected and forgotten about. Oh, man. Ah, ah, I remember this. I bought this in Waterstones, I think. It's showing its age. 2004. Yeah, I think I bought this as new in Waterstones, but it's very, very faded, and it's a shame. Um, this is Riding the Outlaw Trail in the footsteps of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I couldn't have picked this bag if I'd tried, could I? Um, so, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, the last of the legendary outlaws, were captured on Daguerreotype romanced in oh, were captured on Daguerreotype, which I guess is a type of film, romanced in fiction and immortalised on film by Paul Newman and Robert Redford. Simon Casson sets out on horseback to retrace the real-life footsteps of his boyhood heroes, covering 2,000 miles of America's toughest and most treacherous terrain. I think this is perfect for June on the Range, so maybe I won't be reading Lonesome Dove. I don't know. I'm a bit spoilt for choice now. Um, then Stephen King. So I've got a Stephen King and a George Simenon in one bag. That's pretty impressive. I don't think I did that deliberately either. So this is Insomnia by Stephen King. There are a group of Stephen Kings that I haven't read because I fell out of love with his writing for a while. Um, and obviously he was continuing to write and publish, and I just wasn't buying his books. And this is one of them. So you lose a lot of sleep. You'll lose a lot of sleep. Sorry. Ralph does. At first, he starts waking up earlier and earlier. Then the hallucinations start, the colours, shapes, and strange auras, not to mention the bald doctors who always turn up at the scene of a death. That's when Ralph begins to lose a lot more than sleep, when he begins to understand why his hitherto mild-mannered friend Ed is getting out of control, dangerously so, and why his hometown is about to become the new Armageddon. That sounds sort of classic Stephen King, doesn't it? So how many pages is this? Oh, 902, so that won't take me long. This is the other thing. I still think I could read all of these in a month. But something like that is going to take me a long time. And then finally, oh, I remember buying this one as well, another Waterstones purchase, but more recent. This was published in 2018. And I've got a feeling I probably bought this just before the pandemic, and for some reason never got to it. So this is I think I suppose it's a memoir rather than an autobiography. So this is David Wilborn, Shepherd of Another Flock. As the newly appointed vicar, David was looking forward to working in the picturesque market town of Helmsley, set in the beautiful Yorkshire countryside. Admittedly, the vicarage, which dated back to the 12th century, was extremely cold and damp, and not all of his parishioners were impressed by his newfangled ways. But with the help of the irrepressible Father Burt, a retired cleric and one-time tail-in Charlie, David set about winning over the townsfolk. There was Lord Feversham, the local landowner, who at times bore an unnerving resemblance to Henry VIII, Fiery Ted, a retired chef who had fought with the Polish Free Army, Frank, the singing shepherd, still working as he approached 80, and redoubtable countrywoman Eva, the font of wisdom. All had stories of hardship and sacrifice, friendship and love. Charming and moving, Shepherd of Another Flock shows that faith, laughter, and joy can be found in the unlikeliest of places. And then this is been compared to James Herriot and Gervais Finn. So you know, having had some concerns about what was going to be in the bag and whether I was going to read it, I'm now kind of, I want to read every time I've picked one up. I'll read that first. It's been in my head. I'll read that one first. and then the next one I've picked. No, I'll read that one first. I don't know now. I might go with that one or that one, or I might or I might go with the Star Trek book. I'm quite pleased. I think this might work okay this month, and I'm a bit kind of enthused about it, which I think is a good thing for my, as I say, short attention span at the moment. So I tell you what, no, because I think I need to start straight away. I was going to say, tell me what I should read first in the comments below. Well, tell me what you think I should read first in the comments below. And even if I don't read that one first, I'll maybe read it next. If there's a consensus, I expect everybody will go, "Oh, read this one." Yeah. So I will report back, obviously, with my weekly, my reading week videos, and we'll see what happens. And then there's stacks more over in that corner for next month and the month after that. And if I get through all of them, there'll be more books off of that pile, hopefully. Anyway, that's it for now. If you have been, thank you for watching, and I will speak to you next time. Take care. Bye bye.